Paras Tomar. Paras, what's the hope from tomorrow?
You know, I'm very hopeful. I'm really this short of getting a mandap ready. Because I think for all of us right now, when you talked about the fact that 140 million people in India, this is possibly the largest population in the world of people from the LGBTQ. You know, there's a point where this whole, the Mera Bharat mind sentiment, with the fact that we've been paving this way for this new India, I feel also even for us globally, I feel with the whole narrative that India has become so modern, Bharat has become so modern, I am deeply hopeful. Now, at the same time, I know pichli baar bhi when this had happened, even with the decriminalization, I think there was a step back before there was a step forward. So I don't want to get, you know, while I'm deeply optimistic about it, one part of me also feels like, yaar, pata nahi, because, you know, when this had happened, when they reserved the judgment, it's also been a couple of months since then. So thoda mamla thanda bhi ho gaya. But I'm very optimistic, and also all of these things, you know, someone like me, I am a CEO, I'm a founder, we have a business, there's so much money, and everyone keeps saying, tum kiske liye kama rahe ho? Who are you earning for? And that is a real issue. When people say, you don't have a family, you don't have a kids, at least this is a great way to be able to buy houses together, to live a life. Somewhere, unfortunately, no matter how successful you become, if you're not married in this country, you're not really seen as a full person. People still think you're not entirely a whole human being yet, right? And for us to be equal citizens, for us to be able to do things, who am I creating this wealth for? I'm really hoping tomorrow's judgment gives me that equal right and opportunity to very proudly say, great, the government of India recognizes me just as anyone else. Now I can go for marriage, I can go for adoption. I'm hoping that happens later, but I'm really hoping, fingers crossed, for tomorrow morning. Kal main jaldi uthunga.
नहीं जल्दी उठ जाना और 10:30 बजे you can just tune in to Mirror Now, or you can tune into the Supreme Court's live stream. What is the problem? What is the problem? If 5 years ago in 2018, gay sex was decriminalized in this country, the next obvious logical step is gay marriages. After all, these are equal citizens. These are citizens who pay the equal amount of tax as you and I do. Their rights, just because they belong to the LGBT community, doesn't mean that their rights are any lesser than our rights.
See, it is a larger question. Don't think it is right of two individuals or certain people who are claiming to themselves to be gay, or few of them on your channel present in the discussion, our discussion. Think of the country as a whole. Think of the society as a whole. The institution of marriage in our country, in our society, Indian society or Hindu society, is a very pious, and it is an institution of marriage of two sexes, opposite sexes. Not necessarily, or never ever can there be marriage between two sexes, two persons of the same sex.
Yes, I would love to. I was.
The logic in the argument essentially is that marriage is not about recreation; it's about procreation. Go ahead, respond to Subhash ji.
So, pehli baat to when Subhash ji, you say, with all due respect, you're probably like my dad's age, so conversation like that. When you say 10 days of the court was wasted in this, imagine people in this country, 1/10 of this country, imagine them living 30, 40, 50 years of oppression because they have not been able to live the kind of lives they wanted to. Sir, in any case, in today's society, there are lots of hetero couples who do not want to have children because it's too expensive. So by that logic, we've already gone through this. Neither is it a mental illness, neither is it unnatural. When you are saying that it's, you know, society, the shadi is such a big fabric, sir, I want to remind you of one thing. Sexuality is natural, shadi is a man-made construct. And it's very important for you to understand that. मैं जैसे बना हूँ ना, मैं ऐसे भगवान की देन से बना हूँ. I didn't go and choose. When people say choose your sexuality, actually that's wrong. We don't choose our sexuality. I'm attracted to whoever is because of the way I've been made. You have to understand today, when you're saying that the fabric of society will go away, people will not be able to have children, this, that, whatever. If procreation is your only reason, that means by any logic, if there's any couple, God forbid, who cannot have a child, they should be stripped of their citizenships. They should not be married anymore. They should be taken away. They should not be, that means by your logic, if there is a guy and a girl and they cannot procreate, they should not be able to give marriage licenses. What logic is that? That's absolutely crazy. On the other side, when you say stuff like, this community needs to be represented, where not just a tax-paying segment across the world, the LGBTQ segment, the pink economy is a huge economy. The amount of money that comes in because of community members is huge, sir. And on the other side, when you're making claims like, it's not natural, that is a battle we've fought and it's been over. When you're calling it a flimsy issue, when you're calling it a weird issue, what about the children in small towns who are committing suicide? What about the kids who are harassed every single day? What about the children being ragged? I don't know if you've got kids, sir. I have no idea if you've got children. But, when I think about a mentality like yours, and again, with all due respect, you're a legal person. I'm sure you've studied way more than all of us. I'm sure you have world view of experiences. But if you can open your mind a little bit, imagine tomorrow in a person like your home, if there's a kid who's born, who could be from the LGBTQ community, it's not about choosing. Again, I want to tell you, we don't choose sexuality. Imagine how terrible that kid's life is going to be. When there are so many kids who write to me and say, Paras Bhaiya, I want to tell my parents I'm gay, I'm bisexual. What do I do? They'll hurt me, they'll kill me, they'll murder me. What about those human rights? अभी तो हम शादी की बात कर रहे हैं, पर आप जो बोल रहे हो, आपके हिसाब से if you're gay or bisexual, you shouldn't be a human being only. What do you mean it's wrong? It's not. The fact that we've had all of these scriptures in India and this and that, and people say it's against our culture, again, like it was mentioned at the very top of this program, this is one more step for us to shun the colonial era. हो गया, हमने बहुत Victorian ना morals को tolerate कर दिया. Now we don't want it anymore. I think it's very important. अब तो अच्छी बात है हम कुछ भी डिस्कशन कर ले कल सुबह 10:30 बजे हमको सबको पता चल जाएगा but the fact is 377 going away did two things we could tell everyone politely shut up the court has now said move on these are our rights कल सुबह मैं यही होप कर रहा हूं आपका कोई भी मुद्दा हो respectfully not everyone has to agree with us but tomorrow if the courts come out and give this the huge support the huge boost the whole morale that will sort of go up for the community is going to be incredible उसके बाद we can very politely say Mr. Jha we're a democracy. Great, you can still have your opinion, but today the court has allowed us. तो मैं जाके अपने लड़का ढूंढ रहा हूँ शादी करने के लिए.
हाँ, अब सुभाष जी आप हो सकते हैं इसका लॉयर चाहिए होता है ना शादी करने के लिए. सुभाष जी को अपना लॉयर बनाना. हाँ.
Shreya, can I come for
बहुत ज़्यादा important.
Shreya, one word has been evolved.
Yes, Subhash ji.
One word has been evolved or rather coined. It is orientation. So the argument of people like Paras and others is this, that since we have orientation to have a sex with person of a same sex, we are indulging into this. Now tomorrow if you have orientation to do something else, to have sex with animals, to sex with your own relatives, close relatives, I mean, where are we heading for? This will be completely
God, Mr.
lawless.
Subhash, tomorrow if you want to have sex with a pineapple, that is your problem.
We cannot have this.
Orientation does not mean I wake up in the morning and decide. The whole point of that was to say, मैंने आपको जो इतनी बड़ी लंबी speech दी थी.
We cannot have law like this in our country.
अच्छा ठीक है. See, one of the
orientation, sir, is not elective. If you speak to somebody who's from the community.
I do want last comments from all my panelists.
I'm hoping there is a big rainbow on the Indian skies very soon and we have one more feather to our already very decorated cap of Mera Bharat Mahan. That is my prayer for tomorrow morning.